Alright, so if you're watching this video right now, you're wondering whether or not EXP has teams. Well, in this video, we're going to go ahead and dive into the different structures for teams that's the most beneficial for you, whether you're coming in as a team leader already or you're wanting to build a team. There's going to be a huge paradigm shift in regards to what you think a real estate team might be and what it looks like. We're going to dive in right now. Alright, welcome back to the channel, you guys. My name is Sweeney. I'm here bringing you everything that you need to know in regards to the future for real estate brokerages. So do yourself a quick favor, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and the little notification bell. I'm always going on about everything, all those questions that you have in regards to EXP, really diving in, kind of giving you all the insight that you're probably not hearing from everyone else out there. Alright, cool, we're going to go and dive in. Teams in regards to EXP, what does that look like? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's super awesome because EXP has different structures depending on what benefits you the most. Before I actually ran a brokerage, it was a team brokerage, and it was always seemed like it was the same, right? You had a team lead, you had all the agents under you. Typically there was an overhead commission. So say, like, for example, it was a 10% commission from everyone. Well, then that team lead would dictate all the commissions below them, and that's essentially what it was, right? Well, EXP did a great thing. What they did is they structured different teams that are the most beneficial for you. That way you have different caps, you have different minimums in regards to the commissions that you charge with your agents. So let's go and dive in. What does that look like? All right, so the first structure that we're really going to dive in regards to teams over at EXP is the self-organized team. This is probably the beginner one. If you don't already have a team that's established that you're planning on moving over to EXP, this might be something you want to try out, right? It's pretty much the loosest version of being able to have a team where it's essentially you as a team leader and you have a roster of people underneath you. Now, there's no agreements that EXP requires with those agents that you have under you. More than anything, it's for if you want to have people that you hand deals off to, right? So say that you garner deals, whether it be maybe from Zillow, YouTube, or any other resources, and you give them to the people underneath you. These are people that you hand leads off to. And that's kind of the loosest way to have a team inside of EXP, and the way that a lot of people really go, because they really don't want to deal with all the different things that all these other teams that I'm going to be discussing, or all these other team structures that I'm going to be discussing, do have, the restrictions that they might have in place. So what's the good thing about having a self-organized team? I'm going to tell you right now, so say if you want your own branding, but you technically don't want your agents underneath you using that branding, they can go off and brand themselves. And that's such power in EXP because we have the rev share, right? So say you have agents out there who are under your team, they still have the opportunity to bring people under them as well too and put them listed on. So say they grow enough to where, yes, they are still good leads to you, but they start building their own referral business and they want to pass leads down. So it's nice having that leverage so that no one's really locked in place. Yes, you guys still have that camaraderie and all that stuff going amongst each other. To be able to give all the agents under you the power to be able to expand however they'd like, that's amazing. That's super powerful. Here's another thing too. Say you do have that branding. Say you have a team name or whatever it might be. That person under you, depending on you, you might be like, hey, you know what? Bring people on underneath you. You guys could use all my branding and figure out that commission structure. And now we're talking about commission structure. In this one, no one has a reduced commission cap. And so the commission cap over at EXP currently, we're talking 2022, because I don't know if it's going to go up or down in the future. We don't know any of these things, right? Don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict that. But it's $16,000. This is the same across the board. So whether you're the team lead or you're the team members underneath the team or underneath the team lead, it's always $16,000. I'm gonna tell you right now, for me personally, this is the direction that I decided to go, because I did the whole thing with the brokerage where I had my branding and everyone underneath me, the brokerage, you know, had to do the same branding. We all kind of wanted to look like a collective soul. And it just felt like it was too restrictive for my agents. They wanted to build their own brand for themselves. So being able to help build these team members up to do something and at the same time build their own brand is super powerful. And so personally for me, like I said, this is the direction that I decided to go, and it might be one for you. So let's go and dive into the second one right now. So the second team structure that we're going to really dive into is your standard team. And this is your typical real estate team that you think of when you think about building a real estate team inside of real estate underneath any of these brokerages. Now, there are some added benefits with this. First one's being that all the team members that are underneath you, guess what? They're half capped now. So now they're capped out at 8,000. But the one caveat is that you as a team leader, your cap is still the $16,000. And so that's beneficial for your people underneath you, that they don't have to cap out as much. But as a team leader, you're still going to have that $16,000 gap. So with this team structure though, there is going to be a minimum requirement in regards to your commission structure between the team lead and the team members that are underneath them. And that commission structure is going to be a 75-25. And so that's the bare minimum. That doesn't mean, say that you're handing pretty much all your clients, not leads, actual true clients, you know, who are fully vetted, fully qualified and all that stuff down to your team, and you want to be a 50-50, great. There's just only a minimum. So that 75-25 is a minimum structure that you need to have in place between the team lead and the team member. Another requirement when you do build out this standard team is EXP does require a standard form in place. Now they do have this form that you can use on their end. Anything you use in regards to the agreements between the team lead and the team members must be approved by EXP. So say yes, you don't want to use their standard form, you want to use another form, that needs to be approved by EXP. On top of that as well too, you need to have a team roster in place. That way EXP does know what agents you do have under you as a team lead. All right, so something else, there are some minimum requirements in regards to the qualifications needed to do to be a team lead under a standard team. So those requirements are either you close 30 deals in the last 12 months. So I really want to emphasize this so much. It's not over a calendar year. Your previous 12 months, you have had to have closed 30 deals or done 6 million in business. You need to meet one of those two requirements. And after you do meet those requirements, it's expected that you meet those on a consistent basis. So it's not something where you meet those and you're like, all right, now I get to be lackadaisy. Don't have to worry about this anymore. You are expected to keep those same requirements or those same standards in place when you are leading this team of agents. Now, the power in numbers with having a team is that now you don't have to qualify for that personally as a team lead. So if you have team members under you, all your splits, everything that goes towards that number, either the 6 million in business or the 30 deals, that all kind of counts as the team lead going towards that production that you need to keep up on a consistent basis. And so now we're gonna dive into the final team structure. And when I talk about team structure, I'm talking about the ones that EXP has in place. I've got some bonuses in regards to how you can kind of build a team within EXP towards the end of this video. But first, let's dive into the third one, which is the Mega Icon team. A good way to think about the Mega Icon team is if, say, you have a boutique brokerage, you know, a smaller brokerage, or you're looking at really expanding a lot of agents underneath your team to create pretty much essentially a brokerage under a brokerage. You need to have a minimum of 10 agents under you in order to do this Mega Icon team. Now, what's the great thing about that though, is guess what? Everyone that's under you, now they're a quarter cap. So now they cap out at $4,000 a year, which is freaking awesome for all those agents underneath. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, that's gonna be super beneficial for all the team members that are underneath you, but as a team lead, you are still gonna have that $16,000 cap as the team leader. So that's something to really kind of keep in mind. So like I said, this is what I think about when either you have a mega team that you're kind of bringing over, or you do have a small brokerage or a large brokerage that you're bringing over to EXP. This is the route that a lot of people really go, and it's super beneficial to all those team members that are underneath you. So as you would have guessed, of course, there are some minimum requirements in regards to being a Mega Icon team. So similar to the standard team, there is still that 75-25 minimum cap in place. So like I said, outside of that, you know, if you want to go a little bit more in regards to how much you're charging your team members, that's completely up to you. They do require that you have that 75-25 cap between you and your team members. All right, so since you're pretty much considered like the top tier, the best team that you can kind of go in regards to these structures, there's going to be some other minimum requirements in order to either achieve this team and also sustain the team as well too. First one's being, we're talking about the last 12 months, you need to do at least 40 million in production amongst the entire team or close 175 transactions. Also, you need to have at least 10 capping team members underneath you. So that over the previous 12 months, you need to have at least 10 of your team members that have fully capped, which I mean at the 4,000. How easy is that, right? That's not hard to do whatsoever in regards to the caps when you do have them on that quarter cap as opposed to the 16,000. Now there's another little caveat in place in regards to your caps. The team as a whole has to reach at least a $56,000 minimum cap amongst the entire team, and it doesn't matter whether or not the whole team or you have individual members who cap out or not. The team as a whole has to reach a minimum of $56,000 for that cap towards EXP. Now this is a big reason why they do require that minimum of 10 agents in, right? So say if you do finally hit that 10 agent minimum, it's gonna get a lot harder reaching that cap as opposed to say if you have a team of 25 people. It's gonna be a lot easier really kind of hitting that cap. So that like I said, it's a requirement about EXP that you really need to keep those standards super high. Think about it. You're a Mega Icon team. You're pretty much the cream of the crop. You're one of the top teams. They expect a certain standard from you, and that's something that you really need to kind of keep in place. And for some of those mega teams out there, I know that's not going to be a problem whatsoever. All right, so there you go. There's your 3 main ways to structure a team underneath EXP, kind of all your minimum requirements to meet. But there's some other ones that I really want to share with you. First one's being your domestic partnerships. All right, so you need to be legally married to someone in order for this to come into effect. And this is something that can be dissolved at any time. Essentially what it is, you know, is if you have a domestic partnership in place, is that $16,000 cap gets split between the both of you. And so say you're a husband and wife, or you're a domestic partnership, that's great. So essentially, it's $8,000 a piece, or you have one that's killing it and one that's kind of more on the back end. You have that $16,000 cap, which is a lot easier. Also, your monthly fees. So currently you're paying $85 per month as an agent. That pays for all your services. So your KV Core, it pays for your SkySlope, all the resources that you're kind of using, EXP University. That drops down. So now you have one person who's paying 85, second person drops down to $50 a month. And so that's some huge savings too. And so with the domestic partnerships, there is no agreement required in place. But when you do sign up and register with EXP, they're going to ask for all that info pertaining to that relationship. So guess what? You better break out that marriage license. You're not going to get past it. Throw a ring on and just expect them to believe that you're married, right? And so it's something you're really going to want to look at if you're going to want to create a domestic partnership team, I guess you could say, inside of EXP. All right, now I'm going to dive into the stuff that I really like. So the structured team stuff, like I said, it's for some people. For me personally, I already did something similar to it. And the rev share is the biggest reason why I came on to EXP, because essentially what I can do is I could build a team without having that structure of having a team. I don't have to worry about everyone meeting their caps or anything like that. I could do what I really love to do, and that's motivate people. I don't have to sit there and harp numbers with them or anything like that. And so with the rev share, what it does is essentially, you've heard about this, I'm sure, so many times, because EXP agents, this is pretty much all they spout. You bring someone under you get a cut of that, you get a cut of that. This is my favorite part about building a team inside of EXP, because I don't like the restrictions of keeping people under you or having everyone use your same brand or whatever it might be. Also, I want to build a business. I personally, like I said, being an agent, it's something that I'm doing, but I want to be able to hand off referrals and people still be able to brand themselves and do what they want to do. Yes, they can sort of do that with that first team placement that was in place, but there's just not as much strings attached as there was in regards to the first team that I covered in this video. And I think the biggest reason that I love the rev share the most in regards to building a team is it gives the most leverage, the most power to these agents than I think any other example in itself. It's great if, like, say you're a beginning agent and you want to be under a team and you kind of want to do that, or if you do want to be a team lead. I know, like, personally, my wife, she loves being able to have people underneath her and be able to have, an umbrella of a marketing and all that stuff. Me personally, like I said, I'd rather bring people on and be able to empower them. And I feel like the rev share structure, which I haven't seen anywhere else, believe me, I've looked so many times, I've been approached by it so many times by all these other brokerages, it's nothing like what EXP does. And what you're able to do is empower these agents, and then everyone is successful together. With the tides, all ships rise together. That's the saying that I love, that I always remember, because everyone becomes successful together. People outside of EXP always talk about how it's an MLM and this and that. I wholeheartedly disagree. It is not. It's a way for all the agents to want everyone to be successful, and they do that. Now, I can say that there are so many agents out there who are super off-putting by coming in. This is all they kind of approach people with, trying to bring them over to EXP, right? That is the wrong way to go about it. It's seriously just, it's all leading through examples. So being successful in what you're doing, and then just showing everyone else that you're kind of approaching how you did it and your path. And it's like, if they want to make that decision, that's great. So cool, guys. I'm glad that we really were able to dive into this whole team structure thing. Like I said, I mean, short answer, yes, EXP does provide teams. They provide some great structures that are beneficial for everyone. There's not a one size fits all, which I personally love, because everyone has a different flavor. Everyone has a different way of going about things, and that's great that they're able to cater to those people and kind of figure out how they could be the most successful doing what they're doing. All right, cool, guys. So go ahead and check out more of my videos. Like I said, there's going to be all kinds of them posting up here soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to throw my phone number in right below. If you want to go and give me a phone call, reach out, let me know. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe button, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time that I'm bringing out more content in regards to everything for future real estate brokerages and EXP. Until next time, we'll see ya.